So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So, over the weekend, if you may or may not have been paying attention, some Jeffrey Epstein audio has been released. And many MAGA Republicans, if they disagree with you, they'll call you a pedophile. Yet Jeffrey Epstein, in his own words, recorded by author Michael Wolff, saying literally that Donald Trump was one of, if not his best friend. Have a listen to this.
So how do you know this?
Donald's closest friend.
So I need the Donald. Just give me Donald.
First, it's fun. And you probably know he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern movement that we all have. He had his scalp moved and sterile.
Now, the audio, while a little bit difficult to understand, Jeffrey Epstein has heard multiple times in this interview calling Donald Trump his, quote, closest friends. He's talking about Donald Trump having a scalp surgery, whatever you would call that, for the fake hair that he has. And he talks about a number of different things in this interview. But most importantly, he calls Donald Trump his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. But they want to call Joe Biden a pedophile, right, for sniffing kids' hair, right? They want to call him the pedophile. And this is how stupid this attorney Haba is. She is, I would call her drop dead stupid. Haba, who lost when she was representing Donald Trump, has now become a star on the campaign. After this audio was released over the weekend, let me repeat, after the Jeffrey Epstein audio was released over the weekend, where Epstein is calling Donald Trump multiple times his closest friend, listen to what Miss Haba said at a campaign event before introducing Donald Trump. Have a listen to this.
How about that Epstein's Island list? I want to see that list.
Yeah, that's brilliant. What a brilliant thing to say. What a really smart person. Jeffrey Epstein just calls Donald Trump his closest friend, and then you got Donald Trump's, I guess, former attorney saying, boy, I want to really see who's on that Epstein list. Can you be any dumber? I mean, really, can you be any dumber? Yeah, I'd like to see who's on that Epstein list as well. Since Donald Trump was apparently Jeffrey Epstein's, quote, closest friend, according to Jeffrey Epstein himself. But they want to call all you guys pedophiles, right? The right wants to call the left pedophiles. You cannot make this stuff up. Let me be very clear on this. We know that Donald Trump is a liable sexual abuser, proven in a court of law. We know that there have been over 30 women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual assault, rape, including his ex-wife in court documents. And I personally believe that Donald Trump hung out with Jeffrey Epstein on Epstein Island. I personally believe Donald Trump was with underage women. I personally believe that. That's my personal opinion based on the fact alone that Jeffrey Epstein said that Donald Trump was his closest friend and Donald Trump has a history of sexual abuse. The fact that Donald Trump has talked about his daughter. She's very voluptuous. If she wasn't my daughter, I probably would date her. So yes, let's see that Epstein list. I wonder why Donald Trump is so hesitant to want to release it. He's been asked about this before. I think we all know the answer to that, and we all know the answer why Donald Trump refuses to show his medical records. I believe he had a stroke at Walter Reed. If you remember back, I believe it was 2019, might have been 2018, where he made that emergency trip to Walter Reed Medical Center, but nobody seems to want to release any information on what happened. No records, no medical records. Why is that? Because he doesn't want you to see his health records. That's why. He doesn't want to debate Kamala Harris. Why? Because he knows she wiped the floor clean with him the first time, and she would have done the exact same thing the second time because he's a coward. He's a draft-dodging coward. Now, while all this stuff is going on, we all know what Donald Trump said about Liz Cheney, the despicable comments about, well, what if she had 9 barrels pointed at her face? Despicable statement. Well, now Donald Trump, at another rally, had this to say about the media. Have a listen to this.
A little bit of intelligence, and I have a piece of glass over here, and I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here. But all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind. I don't mind that.
I don't mind that. Somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. I don't mind that. It's the former president of the United States. Somebody would have to shoot through the fake news media. I wouldn't mind that. Why do you think somebody sent pipe bombs to CNN? Because of Donald Trump's rhetoric that incites violence. Now he's talking about, again, he goes to the fake news nonsense again. And some of his deplorable supporters, because that's what they are. They're just disgusting, despicable people. The types of people that laugh at stuff like that are the same kinds of people that laugh about the jokes that were made at MSG, about black people, about Jews, about Muslims, about Puerto Ricans. The same people that laugh at jokes like that are the same people that laugh about jokes like the one I just played for you. There's nothing funny about that, because it can incite violence, and we know that there are crazy people out there that are capable of doing crazy things. There's nothing funny about that statement. And we need to take his comments very seriously. I do. Now, let me be very clear on this. I'm going to be as honest about this as I can. If Donald Trump is elected tomorrow, do I believe he would hire people to kill Liz Cheney? No, I don't. I don't believe that that would happen. Do I believe that Donald Trump wants members of the media to be killed? I actually don't believe he truly wants that to happen. However, the comments need to be taken seriously because it can incite violence. I don't believe Donald Trump ever truly believed in his heart or in his mind or in his gut that he won the 2020 election. But when you lie and you say things that aren't true that can get people upset and cause emotion and anger, we get something called January 6th. When you lie, and in this case, attack the media and talk about if people were, were shooting to get to me, I wouldn't mind if they shot through the media first. I'm paraphrasing. That's basically what he said. That can incite violence. And it's dangerous. And when the Marco Rubios of the world and others are interviewed over the weekend, they say, that's not really what he meant. You know what he was trying to say. And when you see these MAGA Republicans curl up into a pretzel, which they've been doing every day for 9 years, it gets old after a while. Why can't a Marco Rubio just say, you know what, that's not the verbiage that I would use. I disagree. But they won't do any of that stuff. The Byron Donalds, the Marco Rubios, the Ted Cruzes of the world, those who stand by Donald Trump with every word that he says, even though when they were running for president, they said he was unfit for office, among other things, habitual liar, unfit for office. But now when he makes those types of incendiary comments, and I think incitement of violence, I don't think there's any question about that, they defend it. And he's already setting us up for his failure if he loses. And make no mistake about it, if he loses tomorrow, which I hope he does, and I think many of you hope as well, it will be nobody's fault but his own. His campaign staff and his surrogates have been spinning for him day after day after day. If Donald Trump loses, which I believe he will, it will be nobody's fault but his own. He can't stay on message. He will not talk about the future. He will not talk about policy. He'll go to personal insults. He'll be attacking Kamala Harris. That's what this man does. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting exhausting. And we all have a decision to make if you haven't voted already, with tomorrow being election day. We need to take what this man says seriously. Doesn't mean we have to take him seriously as a human being, but we certainly have to take what he says seriously. And even though you might not think that he wants to execute members of the media, or he roots for that, or he wants to execute Liz Cheney, the fact that he makes statements like this should be serious enough for you to say, you know what, I'm not going to vote for this guy. He's danger. He's a danger to this country. He's a threat to our democracy. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I'll put it to you like this. If Donald Trump does win, this type of language is going to